Hello and welcome to Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
So Olivia Rodrigo's new single Vampire has been out for a couple of days now. We've taken it in. We've listened a few times. We got our notes. It's an artist that we actually haven't talked about on this channel yet.
Well, there's not that much to talk about. One album.
That's true, and there's a good reason we haven't discussed it. It's because I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, I've only heard it one time. I listened to it last summer. That's it, one time.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of a modern pop blind spot for me. And so I kind of wanted to wait until this cycle got going, see if I was into this, and then maybe we do a video. Joe hears Sour for the first time. I almost forgot what it was called.
I know, me too, actually.
But now we have Guts coming out, which I think is a cool name. Mm-hmm. Kind of a little bit of little touches of like horror theming going on, especially in this really, really cool music video.
Yeah. So, I mean, you kind of watched this video before me. Actually, the first time we heard this song was on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we turn the radio on when we're in the van.
Yeah, and it was like, what is this? Is this a new song? And then we heard the word vampire. We're like, oh, it's the new Olivia Rodrigo. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, this voice sounds so familiar, but like I'm not there where I can just like instantly pull her voice out yet. So yeah. So definitely like remembered it from when we heard it on the radio, and then the video is super cool.
I think it's memorable. It's a really memorable song. It's a hook that stays with you, this ever evolving, building song. And I think the video is just so good. I can't say enough good things about the music video. I haven't seen a video complement a track and vice versa like this for a really long time.
It kind of, I know you said it reminded you a little bit of Alex Ross Perry's direction for Sleigh Bells.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Alex Ross Perry's video for I Can Only Stare by Sleigh Bells, go check that out. Feels a lot like this video. And, might I say, one of the most underrated pop songs of the last decade.
It's so good. And I have to throw in also just a little bit of reference to Sophie Muller too.
Oh, totally.
In just the lighting and that like way that Olivia Rodrigo is presented as this like classic looking beauty. Gwen Stefani was really in that space back in the earlier days of No Doubt Tragic Kingdom era, especially. Sophie Muller was putting out these sort of soft retro-ish videos.
Very washed out, grainy.
Yeah, and they're so beautiful. And yeah, that's kind of like, I mean, music videos aren't like a huge part of my life anymore, so I don't watch that many.
They sure used to be.
Yeah. And so I think this is the first time I've seen a music video in a while that I actually felt like this feels like a little film. This feels like something cool that would have been on MTV.
Yeah.
In a lot of rotation back in the day, because it's a cool video, not just because the song's popular.
And it really helps with what I'm feeling overall with this lead single is that it is a big event song. Mm-hmm. It's a big epic, much like, going back a couple years to Happier Than Ever, the track. Having these singles from modern pop artists that are a little longer and building different parts coming in and climaxing at the end, it's really cool that it's not just short, catchy pop songs. And I'm going to cite a comment from the Pop Heads thread on this song by user Healthy Pursuit, who says, in the age of TikTok, they really appreciate a 4-minute song with a slow but like rising build.
Yeah. And Olivia, of course, has that sort of platform because, she has one huge album. Mm-hmm. It's been, a few years now, how long was it? I don't even know.
Maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah. And then this, like you said, this is an event, this next album coming out. So she can afford for her first single to be like, people are going to go and watch the music video. They're not just going to be like, scrolling TikTok, be like, oh, look, she has a new song. It's like, people are waiting for this.
I'm curious if what's being played on the radio is a radio edit. I really hope not, because you really need that whole 4 minutes. It really, really builds. The first thing that comes in that's not vocal or piano is this pad or maybe like fast plucked guitar with a lot of effects that comes in under the first chorus. And that was the first thing that kind of like ding, it like caught my ear. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. It's kind of like building up some tension And then what do we get but a halt in the song? She delivers the vampire line, and then we get like this cool kick coming in.
Yeah, the chorus is really, really good. It's like, I feel like I'll never forget that chorus now that I've heard it, which isn't that common for me, even with catchier stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's very memorable. What I really like about it is when it gets to teeth into me and goes up further than you were expecting.
Yeah.
Especially coming out of the bridge, because I think the bridge is really genius because it really conditions you to like expect that fourth line to go down. And then when you get back to the chorus and the fourth line goes way up, it's just like it feels that much more epic, even though we've already heard that part twice.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a really cool feat.
Yeah, I have to say, like, the comments I've seen about this, there's a little split between, like, this is great, this is a good progression for her, to, like, this is too much like her older stuff. I think this is a perfect example of, I mean, older stuff, her one album, of, you know, Sour being rightfully so a young album, like Driver's License. That's a song for a 16-year-old, you know? And like, as you get older, you can still relate to it. But like, that's a song that you listen to when you're 16, and like, Good For You is like fun. And, you know, it kind of worn thin on me over the years. Like, I don't love it over time. But it was a good, fun song for her to do. And with the cheerleader outfit, like, she's a teen. And this is like, first of all, she's like dropping the F-bomb in the chorus, which is something pop girls can do now. Wasn't really done in the 90s in a big song. But like, she's not trying to be older than she is. But she's older than she was. She's like in this right spot now. There is an added maturity to this song, and I think the lyrics reflect that. I don't find these childish or really derivative myself.
And I don't find them like, how do I put this? Sometimes I hear a song from a popular artist that is talking about their struggles with fame. And there's a lot of ways that can come off. And sometimes it can come off like, oh, yeah, it must be so tough being rich and famous. I can't imagine. But there's been a lot of good songs in the last couple of years that really reflect what that does to a person and the things they can go through and experience. And I think this is one of them where like it's just effective. It's not what I said before. It's just really well written, and you can sort of still relate to it, oddly.
Yeah. There's like an insight into what they're going through instead of just being like, everybody feel bad for me. It's like, you know, everybody has their stuff, and like, this is how going through this in this position feels.
It's very honest.
Yeah. And, you know, I when we were watching the video together, you'd seen it and I hadn't. It gets sort of to that middle part, and I said, oh, this kind of sounds like that, like gag order production in Kesha's new album. There's a sort of like mouthfully, sort of like words talking over each other part, and the production's kind of minimal. Yeah,
if you haven't heard like something like Eat the Acid or Fine Line from Kesha's new album, it's very, very good, and it sort of has that like rambly, very something to be upset about, and just like throwing stuff at you kind of nature that middle chunk has in Vampire.
And she's kind of coming out and being like, this is what my fame did to me. This is what like people trying to be vampires to me did. So it's like such confluence, because clearly Olivia Rodrigo was not influenced by gag order, because it just came out like a month ago. It just happens to be coming out around the same time. So that's like really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear Sour. I'd like to hear it before Guts comes out. So let us know if that's a video you'd like to see, and we'll do it soon. Thanks for watching. If this is your first time here, stick around. We talk about pop music as an art form and really try to break down the barriers of like discussing music in a black and white way, bad or good. So I want to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching. This is Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
Bye.